Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. We're here for another one of our mass making sessions. We're up to week 247, would you believe? And this week we are making pen holders. They're Paperclips, altered Paperclip pen holders inspired by G. Kerr. So if you want to craft along and make some of these, what you're going to need. So we're going to be using 6x6 papers. So what I have done, because I predominantly have digitals these days, I've taken a bunch of digitals and I have cut them down to 6x6 sizes. So you're going to need some 6x6 papers. Again, you can either use scrapbook paper or cut some paper down to size. Mine are a mixture between 250 and 230 GSM, so they're thicker than copy paper, but you know, you can use kind of what you have to hand. If you have copy paper, I personally would kind of recommend maybe doubling it over or backing it with book page or something. You're going to need your scissors or a paper trimmer, you know, whatever it is that you like to, you know, trim your paper with. So I've got my scissors there. You're going to need either a bone folder or scissor handles. I'm going to use my scissor handles. You're going to need some glue. Now, I've got the Anita's Tacky Glue. This is a PVA based glue. This is what I like to use best with paper items. So I've got my glue, and then I will probably also use my hot glue for gluing the paper clips. So, and you will see once we get kind of going why that is. And then you're going to need some paper clips. Now, I have to say, I've got a variety of what I would call standard size paper clips, which are, you know, just over an inch in size. And then I've got the medium ones, which are approximately 2 inches in size. The smaller ones, I think, are probably better for these because they're going to be less bulk inside your pen holder. And again, you'll see that when we get kind of making them. Aside from that, other things that you might like to have is just some, you know, distress ink and your blendy tool to just kind of blend around them. You may like to have a wipe. I always have a dry wet wipe to just kind of mop out any excess glue, and I think that's pretty much it. I have brought along a few things to decorate some up, so you know, that's kind of sat there. Okay, so how do we make these? Let's have a look. So I'm going to just take the first piece of paper. Now I'm going to fold it in half like this. Mine might not be quite straight because I have obviously cut this down myself. So I'm going to open it back up, and then I'm going to take one edge in and I'm going to fold it in like that. Okay. In fact, let me just decide which edge I want. Oh yeah, I'm going to take this edge in like that. Okay. I'm going to just fold that down, squish it down with my scissor handles. Then I'm going to take the whole edge in again. Now I'm folding it, can you see that, more or less to the middle line. Not quite, but more or less. So maybe like a millimetre or two away from the middle. So I'm going to do exactly the same with this, is take it over again to that sort of centre line, again leaving a sort of millimetre space. Then I'm going to cut this edge off. Okay. Like that. I've now got a bit of an irregular piece here. Again, I don't really mind that. I'm going to keep hold of this and you'll see why in a moment. Then we're going to take the other side and we're going to fold that in just on the long edge, roughly to the middle. So like that, roughly to the middle. Okay, and then we're going to open it out and we're just going to fold a little triangle in the corner here. Okay, squish that down nicely. And that's the basis of your pen holder, like that. It's not great to fold in, obviously, before it's glued down because it kind of gets caught, but you know, once it's glued down, it will be fine. So decide which way round you want it. Maybe this side I think is quite nice. So I've not made a very good job of trimming this. Let me just try and tidy it up, get it straighter like that. I'm going to just trim this off there, but again, that's all kind of optional extras. Then I want to glue down my triangles. So one there, like that, and then the other one like this. Glue them down. And then at this point, what you want to do is take your paper clip, and you're going to put your paper clip on in the middle like that. Okay. Now this piece that we cut off, we're going to use to cover the paper clip. So just trim that down like that. Oops, try and get it straighter. Okay. And then that is going to cover our paper clip. So let me just check whether I might prefer it this way up. Like that. Okay. So I'm going to have to just trim mine in slightly more on the edge just because it's gone a bit wide on the edge, but that's fine. Like that and like that. If you don't mind your paper clip showing on the inside, you can bypass this bit. I mean, personally, I just think this really tidies it up to have the paper clip covered. I'm going to use my hot glue, and this was the part that I said you would see, obviously, once we get making. So I'm covering up my paper clip like that with the hot glue. And the reason why the hot glue is so good is, of course, I don't now have to keep on pressing this. It's just glued down. You know, I don't have to be worrying that it's not glued. Whoops, just flicked off all my paper clips. What an idiot. Oh, I can't now see where they've gone. Right, okay. So that then folds over like that. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is use my wet glue. You could use your hot glue like that. Squish that. Oops. No, I want to have this side in first. Sorry, I forgot which side I was having in. Then going to go over here like that, down this edge here, and then a bit here, just to kind of close this space so that when I put my pen in, it's not going down that space, that gap. So stick this together like this. Now this may be a little bit kind of resistant, so I've got a couple of bulldog clips which I'm just going to take to hold it clipped like that, and one maybe up there or maybe on the top like that, and I can move them around. And that's all there is to those. Now I have to say they do look a little bit fiddly because they've got a few little stages, but trust me, they're actually not kind of as fiddly as it perhaps looked in that awful tutorial. So yeah, they're very cute, aren't they? And then of course you've got your gap here, which is where your pen would go. Now obviously I can't put my pen in there because it's bulldog clip down, but basically your pen will go in that space there. So they're very cute, aren't they? So I will run you through that again, kind of demonstrating what we were doing. Because I'm aware that obviously I didn't probably make the most clear instructions on there. So we'll run through another one. So that was my Avery in the Browns papers, by the way, in case you were wondering, because I do like to try and say what paper I'm using, because otherwise, you know, people message and say, oh, what paper are you using? So I just, you know, try and say what they are. So this one is the Vintage Desk Set 2 in the Vintage Desk Collection papers. So again, I'm going to just fold this in half like that. Okay. Then I'm going to take one of my edges in to a triangle. So I'm going to just take this edge here. And do you remember we took it just kind of a millimetre or so away from that centre fold? So can you see that there? It's just kind of a millimetre or so away from there. Then I'm going to take this edge in like that to the same spot. Squish that down. And then we're going to cut this off down here. And the reason we've done this, do you remember, was so as we get this piece to cover up the paper clip, but also it lessens the bulk that we have on our folded over bits. Okay, and then we're going to fold this edge in straight into more or less the middle, again just kind of a millimetre or so away, and then we're going to just take the triangle and cut that down like fold that down like that. Okie dokie. So that then is our complete piece. So, and then obviously decide which way round is the nicest looking. Going to just trim this down here. Perhaps we'll have it like that. Okay, I'll probably have to trim this down in terms of width as well. Oh, it's okay actually, this one. Okay, I will just trim it down very slightly, just so we don't have that kind of weird thing going on when you fold it. So I'm going to glue my triangles in, remember. 1 and 2, like that. Just squish those in. And that one. Okie dokie. And then we're going to put the paperclip in like that. And then we're going to glue this down, remember, over that paperclip. And this is, you know, again, where I'm using the hot glue. You don't have to use the hot glue, but, you know, you will just have to kind of keep pressing it for a bit longer if you're using normal glue, because obviously it's got the whole bulk of the paperclip that it needs to, you know, go on top of. So like that. Okay. And then the whole thing folds in like that. And remember, we go across the bottom on one side, the bottom on the other side. Make sure you decide which way you're going in. So I'm going to go in this way. I'm going to put some glue down there on that inner edge, and then glue here on that outer edge there. Bit of glue then here, just so it's, you know, properly glued down. And then we just fold the whole lot in like that. Press that down, squish it all like that. Okay, and then can obviously take my bulldog clips from the first one, pop them here on the second one, just go over there, and this one. Okay, maybe I will clip this along here as well. There we go. So they're really cute, aren't they? And hopefully I can demonstrate now a little bit better where the pen goes in. Okay, like that. So your pen just clips in there. So they're quite classy, aren't they? You know, really kind of elegant and lovely to have on your journals. So yeah, they're really nice. I mean, I can't claim them as my idea, but they are very, very nice, aren't they? And obviously, you know, they really need very minimal decorating. So we are just going to mass make a bunch of these. I mean, like I said, there are a few stages. They look worse than they are. Once you get making them, you'll kind of think, oh, actually, you know, there aren't too many stages. But yeah, I've probably made them look worse than they actually are. So I'm going to keep those to that side. And I'm just going to bring the rest of my papers in. And yeah, we'll just get assembly line styling. So when I assembly line style, we do all kind of same stages together. So I'll probably fold my pieces in, do all the kind of folds, then all the cuts, I think, at the same time. Do we want to do that? Oh, well, perhaps I'll just do them all like exactly the same stages at each stage, if you see what I mean. So we'll do that. And we'll just relax and have a lovely catch up. So, yep, I will try and remember to tell you the papers. I'm just waffling on at the minute. But yeah, I will try and remember to tell you the papers. So I hope that everybody's week has started out well. For those people who watch my channel, you'll know that I film these on a Monday to go up for you guys on the Tuesday. So, yep, my week has literally only just started. I have to say it's absolutely freezing here today. I I mean, it's literally freezing. It was 0, I think, this morning. So, yeah, it's pretty cold. My house still feels freezing, unfortunately. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but it's not seeming like it's warming up very much. There we go. Right, done all my middle bits. So, you know, my my middle folds. We're then going to do all of our edge folds and the cutting. So I'm going to take this in kind of, do you remember, just leaving 1 millimetre or so, or a couple of millimetres space, like that. I'm going to fold the other edges in at the same time. Oops, that's gone in a bit too far, like that. And we'll do all of this bit, and then we'll do all of the cutting at the same stage as well. So what is new with me? This one, sorry, this is my postal collection on the inside, and this is my roses collection. I don't know really why I ended up double-siding those. It was kind of a mistake, really. I didn't intentionally back those together, but yeah. Right, I'm going to take that down, and then we will cut all these strips off at the same time. So we'll just go in and do that now on all of them. Okay. So yeah, my week only just started out. Now, what have I been up to? Well, my goodness, my whole week has been dominated by my desk. And you will notice that today I just brought along the amount of papers that I'm planning on using, because would you believe my desk is now clear. So yep, I'm very, very excited. So yeah, I'm really excited, I have to say. It was a big yeah, a big job, let's just say, but I've completed my X-Files season 3 series, so there will be a trailer going up for that later on this week. I'm not sure when the trailer will go out, but it will have the details of when the series is starting and what have you. So I really, really hope that you guys are going to join me for the X-Files series 3. I think probably it will be going out next week, and if that's the case, there isn't going to be a mass making session next week. I will just do a full run of the X-Files, so it will kind of like run straight through rather than, you know, do a stop for a mass making session. So yeah, so assume that there won't be a mass making next week. I will try and remember to put a reminder up on the community post, but yeah, I'm thinking that that would be better. I did used to kind of stop and do a mass making still when I was running a series, but to be honest, that just, it's a bit weird then, you know. It kind of disrupts the flow of the series, I think. So yeah, I think it's probably better to just have a series running without the break. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Yeah, very, very excited. I honestly, it's like awesome. So aside from that, I have to say I have done very little, because that's obviously taken up all of my time. Yeah, not really kind of cracked on with anything else much, which is, you know, really annoying. I didn't end up releasing my vintage desk set 3 last week. I was trying to work on a Valentine's collection, which I have started, but of course that kind of, you know, went by the by while I was doing my series as well. So I don't now know whether I'm going to end up doing a Valentine's collection this year. So I do apologise, because somebody did ask me the other day and I said, oh yes, I will be. So I just want to put it out there. I'm not 100% sure whether I will be now, because, you know, time's obviously kind of, yeah, of the essence, I suppose. So what's the date today? It's the 20th of January. So I don't know, to be honest. I would like to, but I just don't know whether I'm going to have time to get on and do it, because digitals do take quite a long time to create, and then they take, you know, quite a long time to make the thumbnails and upload them and all of that kind of stuff. So I don't know whether I will manage to do a Valentine's kit this year. And also the vintage desk set 3, which obviously I was really hoping to get on top of an upload last week, so I really apologise for that. That will hopefully now be up this week. Again, it's just kind of like time, you know, yeah, time to do all of these things really. But anyway, so yeah, very, very excited. So let me know in the comments below, are you planning on joining me for the X-Piles? Like, do you have a desk that was pretty similar to mine, which maybe you guys saw my shorts where Natalie was arriving at my house? Yeah, it's not my proudest moment, but hey, you know, I suspect that lots of us do have desks that look like that, because it's kind of like the nature of the game, isn't it? You know, we obviously need a lot of things laying around, you know, to just pull in. And then, of course, you know, if you need a lot of things to pull in, you have to have them close to hand, don't you? So, yeah. Anyway, I feel really good now that it's clear. And to the point that I've actually put Beau's bed up here on my desk. So it's right here. She's not up here at the moment. She likes to lay in my bed. But every so often, you see, she comes into my room. And, you know, she'll be in here while I'm doing a video. And I just thought, oh my goodness, it would be so cute if she was actually up on my desk. I don't know whether she will like it. I don't know whether she will be a distraction. You know, again, kind of have to see how it goes. But yeah, I've put her desk up there at the moment. So we'll see how it goes, see how she gets on. But I'd love it if she would, you know, she would like being up there. So we'll have to see. But yeah, that's kind of the plan at the moment anyway. Yeah, and I found obviously tons and tons of things during the series. So off the back of that, I've now got loads of finishing off projects to do, and, you know, using things that we found, and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So it's kind of been a really, yeah, like positive and proactive thing to do anyway, because it's kind of like, yeah, like created lots more crafting opportunities, I suppose. So yeah, had a really, really lovely time doing that, and I feel so great that it's now done, because it was kind of coming to the point, you know, at first when I started, I felt like, oh my goodness, I'm not sure I'm ever going to get on top of this desk, which is crazy, because obviously, you know, we've done it before, and of course we have managed to get on top of it. But you know, when it just gets so messy and you think, oh my goodness, I don't think I'm ever going to actually get through this. It felt a little bit like that at first, and I just thought, oh, what am I doing? But then suddenly it seemed to turn a corner, and then it was like, oh, suddenly I'm, you know, I am getting on top of it, and actually it feels okay. So yeah, it was a little bit of a, you know, wobbly kind of start, I suppose you could say, that then just sort of very suddenly turned a corner, and it was like, oh, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel now. Right, so I'm going to do all my cutting now, so that I'm then in a position to obviously start gluing things down. So again, just going to cut these bits down and keep them together so as I know what's going with what. So this was my Claridge's papers, by the way. This one is my Shabby Chic collection papers, and it's backed with my documents collection. So I can't remember when I actually finished the desk, whether it was yesterday. No, it wasn't yesterday. Whether it was Saturday or Friday. I can't remember. Saturday or Friday anyway. And yeah, oh my goodness, it felt awesome, I have to say. So really, really awesome. And yeah, like I say, I really cannot wait, or couldn't wait to get kind of coming in here crafting. And then unfortunately I just didn't really have time, because by the time that I then filmed, you know, what did we make and things like that. And I then had a few things left to tidy up that was sort of like to the side of my desk and things like that. Now I have to say, I've still got piles all over the room, so I can't claim that it's actually complete now. I mean, obviously the whole room is still a tip, but I have got some other piles still on my desk which still need clearing, which hopefully I'll now feel spurred on to do and get on top of those as well. But obviously, like I keep saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, so all these things do take time, don't they? But yeah, it does feel really, really nice at the moment. I'm like, oh my goodness, look at my room. Like, wow, it's been such a long time since I've seen it looking like this. So yeah, it feels very, very exciting to have it looking so tidy. I don't know how long it will stay. I'm going to really, 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 really try to keep it like that. That was my totally dotty paper. Sorry, I can't remember whether I said that. I'm going to really, really try to keep it like it. Now, whether or not I will, who knows? Probably won't end up keeping it very tidy, but I would love to be able to. So, yeah. Anyway, so that was that. You know, which was pretty major exciting, I have to say, for me. What else? Oh, went to the cinema on Wednesday to watch Maria with my son. So this was about Maria Callas. So it was the film with Angelina Jolie playing Maria Callas, you know, the opera singer. And oh, it was such a beautiful film. I knew it would be because it was being filmed. I wasn't sure whether it was predominantly France or Italy. I thought it was going to be one of those places. So it was predominantly in France and, well, in Paris. And so the backdrop was beautiful. It had beautiful clothes. Yeah, just, you know, she had a beautiful apartment. And yeah, it was just full of very stunning kind of backdrops and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So if you're someone who likes, you know, like a different film set, because quite often film sets, they all look, they're maybe in a modern apartment and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. If you like seeing something a little bit different just on the film set point of view, then I would say go see it because it was really beautiful. That was the Avery collection in the brown. Sorry, that was the Avery collection in the duck egg and pink. And this is the Vintage Desk collection, set 1 again. Yeah, so from that point of view, it was absolutely lovely. The actual film itself, it was different to what I expected. I hadn't really realised it was just kind of following her last week, really. And it had flashbacks, obviously, to her, you know, earlier years. So I didn't know that it was going to be like that. Not that that was, you know, a problem. They made it very, you know, it worked very well with the flashbacks. I learned some things about her. I didn't really know that Aristotle Onassis, who, I mean, I went with my son and I just kind of whispered to him and said, oh, apparently he was like the richest man in the world. Now, I just think that because there was a series when I was a child of him, which she probably featured in that series, but obviously I couldn't remember, you know, that much about it other than his lovely yacht, which was on the series a lot, which, wow, looked like amazing. But yeah, it was called, I think, The Richest Man in the World. And so that's why that kind of stuck in my head. I don't know whether that is true. I mean, obviously, probably not by today's standards, you know, because, wow, there seem some very rich people. But yeah, was that the case back then? I don't know. You know, or was that kind of like just hype to do with the series that they made, kind of calling it that? I don't know. But yeah, I hadn't realised that they'd had this kind of epic love affair and were kind of like the love of each other's lives. Again, this was how it was portrayed in the film. And, you know, please correct me if I'm wrong, because, you know, that was before my time. I think it said she died in 1973. And I think she was 53, which, I mean, that's no age, is it? 53. I was born in 1975, so I was obviously born after she had died already. Yeah, so I don't know really, but according to that film, they were sort of like the love of each other's lives. He obviously went on to marry Jackie Kennedy, and I mean, the film kind of seemed to suggest that they still were the love of each other's lives, and I'm not in any way suggesting that they continued an affair or anything like that, but she went to see him on his deathbed and they had a very deeply respectful, you know, love for each other, which was really very sweet to see, to be honest. Again, I don't know how true that is or how accurate that is. I'm just kind of portraying or telling what was shown in the film. But yeah, this was my pink Parisian kit, and this one is the roses collection. So anyway, yeah, it was really very beautifully filmed, very yeah, very lovely. And yeah, I mean, obviously they did have some opera singing in it, not too much. I mean, which, I mean, I've never been to an opera, I have to say. Yeah, I've not ever been to one. I would like to go to one. I don't know, you know, without having been to one, I don't know whether I would like one or not, really. So yeah, again, let me know in the chat below. Have you been to an opera? Do you like it? You know, what do you think? Do you think I would like one? I mean, you know, they're quite expensive to go to. So yeah, and that's probably why I haven't ever been really to one. But, you know, because theatre tickets are very, very expensive, aren't they? So it always seems like a bit of a risk to know whether I'd like it. They do sometimes do what they call event cinema. So they have like live showings of, yeah, I mean, plays and musicals and, you know, operas and things like that. So I could perhaps go to one of those, you know, and then see what I think. So yeah, maybe that would be the way to do it. I would probably quite like to do that, really, and just try it out, see whether I actually did like opera, really, before wasting, you know, a lot of money on a ticket. That being said, I don't know whether I would get the true experience of what an opera was like by just, you know, watching it at the cinema. I know obviously it would be as if it were on at the theatre, but it wouldn't have quite the same kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, let me know. Do you like opera? Have you been to the opera? What operas have you seen? I always remember I worked with this lovely chap who he had been to, you know, the opera, and he really liked operas. Now, he said one that he thought would be a very good beginner one. And I'm now trying to think what it was called. Oh, I can't remember now what he said. So, I mean, again, if you are into opera, you know, what would you recommend as like a beginner opera? One that a beginner would perhaps really enjoy. Not necessarily even about enjoying, but maybe understand, because I don't know whether I would necessarily understand what was going on. But, I mean, they look very powerful and very, very emotional, you know, which that I think does appeal. You know, I think I would like to go and see one from that point of view, because they just look like, you know, nothing else really. So yeah, from that point of view, I'd like to give one a go, really. So that was, I think, all that we have been to see this week at the cinema. Yeah, I think that's all that we went to see. On Netflix, what have I watched on Netflix? So I watched the second season of Squid Game. I did talk about this, I think, last week, that we'd sort of started watching and we'd watched the first 1 or 2 episodes, and I wasn't that enamoured with it. It got better. Well, some I quite enjoyed, and some, you know, it seemed a little bit, not necessarily boring, but, you know, it didn't capture me that much. I definitely did not enjoy it as much as I'd enjoyed the first one. That being said, it did end with quite a, you know, good ending. So, yeah, probably the last episode. There didn't seem to be many episodes, whether it was 6 or 8, not a great many. That was very exciting, the last episode. So, yeah, I don't know. Again, let me know. Have you watched season 2 of Squid Game? What did you think to it? I liked the fact that it did start with the red light, green light game. I didn't start with it, but when they went in, it still had that same game, because that instantly put you back into the zone of what you were watching. Yeah, it was quite good. I mean, I guess it had to be different, didn't it, to the first one, because otherwise it wouldn't really be very enjoyable to watch. I suppose from my point of view, I perhaps naively expected it to be similar to the first one, or, you know, following the same format, perhaps I should say, as the first one. And when it didn't, maybe I felt disappointed. That being said, if it had followed the same format, maybe I would have been disappointed with that. So, hey, never happy, never happy. But yeah, so we did complete watching that. When did we complete that? Might have been on Friday, something like that. So yeah, it was okay. I don't think I've really overly watched anything else much. I watched something with Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx. It was a new film on Netflix. I think it was called Back in Action. It was just a sort of light-hearted sort of comedy type film. It was okay. It was, you know, it wasn't great. It wasn't rubbish. It was just okay. You know, I'd probably happily watch it again, but I wouldn't rush to watch it again, if you see what I mean. But it was okay. I mean, that Jamie Foxx, he's very, very handsome, isn't he? Yeah, I think he's very handsome. And Cameron Diaz, wow. I mean, she does not seem to age, does she? She actually, I think, just perhaps looks better and better. You know, the older she gets, the better she gets. So, yeah, she looked gorgeous in it, I have to say. So, very, very, very pretty. So, yeah, good actors. And they had a bit of a sort of online chemistry, I think. So that was quite, you know, easy to watch. Definitely an easy watch, really. So, yeah, it was okay. Right. I thought Bo might have come in here at some point, because she sometimes just wanders in and then just gets into her bed, which obviously she would come in here now and her bed would not be there on the floor. She'd be like, oh my goodness, what's going on? Where's my bed gone? Because of course it's now, you know, up here on the desk. But yeah, she's not coming, so that's fine. Supposed to be going out with my friend tonight. So this is my old school friend, who I'm sort of in regular contact with. When I say regular, I mean, I'm shockingly terrible at sort of keeping in touch with people. And to be honest, yeah, so often ages will go by that we don't see each other. Totally my fault. But, you know, life's just kind of busy. And then it's like, oh no, before you know it, you know, time's gone by and you just haven't really seen one another. And I feel terrible because her kids are kind of grown up. She doesn't work or anything. And she probably just thinks I'm being really mean, you know, or disinterested and not wanting to meet up. And it's genuinely not that. But, you know, it's hard to kind of like, yeah, hard to, you know, make arrangements and things. Well, it's not even make arrangements. It's just hard to get the time to actually kind of like meet up. So, you know, I kind of say, oh yeah, you know, let's meet up really soon. And then, to be honest, before I know it, I'm just kind of working. And, you know, sometimes I don't even feel like I have time to sort of text her really, because obviously then she'll text straight back and I don't want to be rude and not chat. But there's not really time for chatting. So, yeah, I'm like the world's worst texter. So I just think, oh, better not to open the conversation, because if I haven't got like a half an hour or something to sit down texting, it's better not to do that. And to be honest, it just seems very rarely that I do have that, you know, half an hour kind of like to do that, you know. And I'm sure lots of you probably feel the same. You know, if you're busy, you just don't really have time to be, yeah, texting. And so then it looks rude to just like send one text and then when she replies to then not reply. So then I, you know, I constantly find myself thinking, oh, I'll text her when I get, you know, when I get a chance. I'll text her when I get a chance. And then, of course, it's even worse because, like, weeks go by. Anyway, I totally digressed there. But, yeah, very nice. We're going to go out tonight. There is a restaurant that's doing pizzas and they're buy one, get one for £1. So that is a bargain, isn't it? So we're going to go and have a pizza. And, yeah, that will be really nice. So, and hopefully really, really cheap. So, yeah, that would be really good. There we go. Okay. So some of it's just choosing which way round you want to have your papers going. There we go. like that. Okay. Glue that down. Yeah, so my daughter went to a youth club on Friday. They have opened a new youth club near us. So she hadn't ever been before. Obviously Friday was its, you know, its first opening day. And yeah, she had a lovely, lovely time. So yeah, I think she wants to go kind of every week. It made me laugh because when I went to pick her up, it was only on for, I think it was only on for an hour. But when I got there, it was completely silent. And I thought, this can't be it, because how can they be in silence? Like, you know, I just thought they must have gone out or something. Anyway, they were all sat down just chatting, very civilised, deciding what to do next week, apparently. So, yeah, I thought, wow, they really kind of like kept them, you know, kept them in check by keeping them all quiet. So I said to her, I said, what were you doing? You know, what did you spend the time doing? And she said, oh, just eating mainly. She said they had snacks, loads of snacks, like crisps and biscuits and stuff. She said, and just chatting what we'd like to do next week. And I said, oh, right. What was the, you know, what was the top suggestions for what to do next week? And she said, oh, probably watch a film. Now, she doesn't like films. So I kind of looked at her and laughed. Now, luckily, this is quite close to our house, so I was able to walk and pick her up from there. And I took Bo. It was dark, obviously, by the time I got her. But, yeah, I walked across and, you know, took Bo, like, across there. But, yeah, she just kind of looked at me when I said, oh, I didn't think you really like films. She was like, you know, that obviously was not her choice to watch the movie. But, yeah, that obviously seemed to be the most popular thing that everyone seemed to want to be doing. So yeah, she looks like she is going to have to do that. And when we were walking back, we walked past some people, or, you know, another lady who had also had a sausage dog, and her sausage dog had one of those little light up collars on it. And I thought, oh, I must get one of those little light up collars for Bo. I haven't done yet, but yeah, it's on my kind of, it's on my radar of I'm going to try and get her a light up collar, because I mean, I wouldn't let her off her lead in the dark anyway. You know, where the youth club is, we have to walk past a field where I would normally walk her and let her off her lead and she can have a run about. But I would never do that, you know, in the dark, just in case she couldn't see me and I couldn't see her, even with the light up collar. So yeah, definitely, you know, I wouldn't do that. But I just thought she might, you know, she might appreciate the light up collar anyway, because obviously it's pretty dark, you know, when she's walking. So yeah, gonna get her one of those, which I thought, oh, how cute she's gonna look. They probably sell them on Amazon, I would suggest, but, or I suspect. But yeah, I haven't actually looked yet. Okay. Just want to say a massive thank you to anyone who has placed an order, either, you know, on my Etsy shop or on my website. I do really, really appreciate it. Thank you so, so much. As I say, I will try and get my vintage desk set 3 into my shop. You know, my Etsy shop, well, ASAP now. So yeah, I apologise that it wasn't in last week. It just, you know, time got away from me. And yeah, I will try and do a restock in my website shop this week, because obviously it's been a little while now, so I do apologise for that as well. Just kind of as a side note, I do have my Christmas folio, which is in there. Obviously, I do realise that, you know, you probably wouldn't want to purchase it without seeing a flip through. It's massive. So yeah, it's a massive, massive folio, because it's kind of like a double one, if you see what I mean. So it's bigger than my ordinary folios, if you see what I mean. And yeah, I realise it's out of season now, so, you know, I apologise for that. But by the time I finished it, there just wasn't time to obviously film it or anything. But yeah, that is in there, and I've still got 1 or 2 journals from the Back to Basics series from Christmas. Hopefully later on this week when I do a restock, I will hopefully put a couple of kits in there, you know, as well, junk journal kits. Again, this is all just, you know, good intentions, which will hopefully come to be, but I can't obviously quite guarantee it. But yeah, I would like to think that I will manage to do those things. So yeah, if you know, like the kits and things, then hopefully I'm going to be putting a couple in here or in there later on this week. Maybe some more of the, you know, the grab bag kind of junk journal. Can't remember what I called them. I don't know what I called them. Variety packs, I think they were called. So yeah, I will try and get a couple of those more in there as well. Again, it's just, you know, time dependent really, because obviously putting them together and then putting them in, but definitely I will try and put some more of those in. I need to make some more lace clusters before I can put any of those in, so there might not be any of those. I'll try and do some more paperclip packs, and maybe a couple of these paperclips will go in the paperclip packs as well. Yeah, I'll try my best to put a variety of things in. So that will probably be, I would think, Wednesday or Thursday by the time I get round to that. So yeah, I am behind on emails, so I must just quickly apologise now. So yep, again, I will be getting to those as well. Yeah, and I have got 1 parcel that I need to post out, which again, I'm now a bit late posting that out, so I do really apologise. So Natalie is no longer really going to be coming to me, unfortunately, because she's actually got some, you know, other work sort of opportunity now come up, which of course is more, you know, more worth her while doing, you know, which is unfortunate obviously for me. But hey, I mean, it's good to, you know, good for her. So, you know, good luck to her with everything. But yeah, bit of a shame really, because now I'm back to doing everything and now having to post everything out and respond to emails. So, you know, we'd got like in a really good routine and it was really, really, really helpful. But, you know, but I mean, hey, that's fine. I just need to now adjust my routine and kind of, yeah, get back into it. Well, not that I ever had got back into it, to be honest, because I'm not really very good with the whole admin type thing. But yeah, I just need to kind of like maybe dedicate like Fridays to the posting day. I mean, that's how Natalie and I had done it. She did swap her days a couple of times during the time she was working, but I think in the end she was mainly here on a Friday. You know, like I say, it had swapped sort of over the time, you know, a couple of times depending on what days she worked at her sort of regular job. But yeah, so what I need to do is just sort of commit myself to, on the Friday that Natalie would have generally been at my house, okay, she's no longer here, but just carry on as if she was, i.e., you know, do the posting and what have you in her place on a Friday, if you see what I mean. So yeah, I just need to kind of get my mindset into doing that, and then it will all be fine. So yeah, I mean, it's a shame, but you know, hey, I mean, it was really kind of like just to obviously give her some extra kind of cash and, you know, help me, you know, which was a massive help. So that was absolutely awesome. But yeah, you know, these things kind of, they're probably not going to be permanent, are they? Because of course, you know, she can kind of do more in other, you know, other workways, so she can then get, you know, better money. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it is, isn't it? And that's absolutely fair enough. So yeah, but anyway, just need to kind of now, you know, get used to kind of that and, you know, plus as well, I'd obviously got used to seeing Natalie every week. And, you know, so even if we didn't see each other kind of like at weekends or anything like that, you know, or do anything like with the kids, then we always had that weekly catch up and we'd have a gossip and, you know, all of that, which was really nice. And now obviously I won't be seeing her regularly like that. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame, to be honest. It's a bit like the end of an era, you know, like when someone leaves your workplace, or you know, you leave a workplace, it feels a bit like that. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but you know, hey, totally get it. So okay, so yeah, anyway, so I just need to get my head around doing the totally different kind of routine, and yeah, it will all kind of like slot into place. So there we go. Okay, so pop this down. Okie dokie. Right, so I've used up all the bits of paper that I did bring along, so that's pretty good, because I wasn't sure whether I would actually get through them all. They're going to take very minimal decorating, because obviously they're only tiny, so there's sort of like limited opportunity really for what you can really do with them. Now I'm just going to squish these bottoms down. It's the bottoms that don't seem to want to glue together particularly, so I'm just going to squish them with a bulldog clip against all of those. So yeah, oops, like that. And these ones, yeah, definitely it's the bottoms. Definitely the bottoms that don't seem to want to glue. Okay, so again, just going to hold them in place like that. Right, okay, let's decorate one or two of these up. So I didn't use all my paper clips, so I was obviously being optimistic with how many paper clips I was going to use. I brought along some big ones as well, but like I say, really the smaller ones are better, because I think the big ones do add a little bit too much bulk in there. So you know, I wanted to try and stick to the smaller ones if I possibly could. Right, let's put these out. I wonder if we could actually decorate up 4 of these. Oops, got a paper clip on there. Yeah, I wonder if we could actually do all 4 of these. Now I've brought along some fussy cut pieces, so let's see. I thought perhaps that boot would fit on, but look, that's still a bit wide, because they are very narrow, and that's why I said, you know, they're going to really need very minimal decorating, because obviously, you know, they can't really take a lot. They are very tiny. You know, there's only so much that you could really kind of do with them. I'm thinking maybe that one, maybe that. Oh, that looks quite pretty on there. Oh, I've also got some of my perfume bottles, which I did bring along, so I wonder if we could have that on one. Oh, I've also got some more colourless kind of perfume bottles, perhaps that one. Right, okay, let's see how we get on here. So I've got some lace here to the side. Let's just pull some of that in. Right, I will ink these. So just ink around there. Yeah, I mean, that's quite cute, isn't it? And then just wonder if we could just have a little bit of this. Whoops. Yeah, meeting my friend at 5 o'clock. So, yeah, my son's going to look after my daughter. And, I mean, she doesn't really need looking after, to be honest. But, you know, she said, oh, can I come? I said, oh, well, you could, but... And thankfully my son said, oh, let mum just go out, like, you know, and have her own time, kind of being a grown-up. So yeah, because I haven't seen my friend for a while, and you know, obviously we've got lots of things to chat about, which, you know, my daughter would tend to then sort of not necessarily stifle the conversation, but you know, before we know it, we'd be talking about what she wanted to talk about maybe, or you know, the conversation would be sort of hijacked in the nicest possible way. Yeah. So anyway, thankfully he was like, oh, let mum just go on her own. So yeah, I mean, she's very good, to be honest. You know, she's not you know, she's not ununderstanding or anything like that. So yeah, please don't think that I'm meaning she's you know, yeah, like takes over, and I think she doesn't, but you know what it's like. So she'd be, you know, oh, well, you know, can I have this pizza? And you know, sort of, so every conversation it would be sort of broken up with like distractions, you know, sort of from her, that then, you know, like I say, I mean, I haven't seen my friend for quite a long time. It would probably be nice to just meet her without a distraction. So yeah. Anyway, and then on Saturday, my daughter then had a sleepover at her friend's house. So she had a really jam-packed, fun weekend. You know, she went to the youth club and then she had the sleepover on Saturday night. So you can imagine, last night she was awful. So when I say awful, she's never awful. She's, you know, she's a good girl, and, you know, she's not like terribly behaved or anything. But obviously she was tearful, and, you know, because she was obviously very, very tired. And I said, oh, what time did you go to sleep? And they didn't go to sleep till, I think she said 2:30. So I said, well, there you go. That's why you're feeling rubbish now, you know. And she came into my bedroom at 8:58 last night, so 2 minutes to 9. And I always have this not 2 o'clock rule, 9 o'clock rule in our house. And I had it when the boys were small and everything. Come 9 o'clock, do not come into my bedroom and be, you know, hassling me or anything. So, you know, like, she, I have to say, is the worst one, but she'll come in like, oh, Mum, there's this on Amazon. Can you order it for me? You know, no, we don't do that. Come 9 o'clock, we don't do any of that stuff. You know, you can come in and say goodnight, but that's kind of it. I don't want to be hassled or hounded or anything like that. Now, I have to say, with the boys, I was very strict, and I properly stuck to that and was very rigid. With my daughter, I guess it's different because I'm now, you know, sort of single and, you know, what have you. So it feels really mean to just kind of be so strict with her. But yeah, so I let her get away with it. And, you know, it's to its own detriment, really, because then, like yesterday, she came in at 8:58 with her homework and was like, you know, I've got this homework. I said, no way. You know, apart from anything else, I'm way past my best at 9 o'clock at night. And, you know, kind of like, I will not be able to kind of focus or concentrate and help you with your homework, really. And I said to her, why are you bringing that in at 9 o'clock at night? You know, what's happened to the 9 o'clock rule? So, of course, then she started kind of crying and, you know, and I said, look, you're just really overtired, you know. Oh, well, I haven't done my homework. I mean, it's not due in until Wednesday. So I said, well, you've got plenty of time. You don't have to be coming in right now at like 9 o'clock on a Sunday night. You know, just leave your homework and, you know, we'll do that kind of together when you get home before I go out at 5 o'clock. So that's what we kind of agreed. But I have to say, my son who'd been out, he got in at, say, 9:10, and he then was in my room also with her, trying to console her and explain how, you know, this is not the best time of night to be coming in with your homework. You know, you should have done your homework before you went on the sleepover, and all these kinds of things, you know, which of course just was all falling on deaf ears because she wasn't really in the mood to be listening to any of those things. But yeah, anyway, she got up in a little bit of a better mood today. Although I suspect by the time she comes in from school, she'll be grumpy again. But yeah, she's just overtired now. She's had a pretty, you know, exciting weekend. And yeah, she now kind of is suffering the consequences from that because she's now overtired. So anyway, I have to say, you know, I don't mind helping her with her homework, but already sometimes there's things that I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is. You know, you'll have to just Google that. I've never heard of that. So yeah, I mean, last week I'd helped her with some maths, which was thankfully fractions with, like, you know, yeah, fractions. So that was fine because that hasn't changed since we were kids, if you see what I mean. A fraction is a fraction. But it's the English homework that it's like, I don't really know what that means, you know. So yeah, I said to her, you'll have to Google that. I'm not sure. And then thankfully, when my son did get in, he straight away said, oh, that's this, that and the other, you know. So he obviously remembered it from school. It probably was the same when we were at school, but I just can't remember it. So yeah, anyway, not good. And I did say to her, the thing is, it's all very well helping you with your homework, but to be honest, you're better off actually getting it wrong anyway. And that's when the teachers know that that's what you need help with. If we just help you and you get it all right, they don't know that you don't understand it. So, you know, you've got to kind of have an element of getting it wrong for them to kind of go, oh, she doesn't know how to do this. We'll need to help her. Right. Okay. So I have got these 3 now ready decorated, and just show you now with the pen inside there like that. Aren't they just so gorgeous? They're absolutely yummy, aren't they? So yeah, can't claim them as my idea. Like I say, they were G-Kers, but aren't they just absolutely gorgeous? So we've got 3 that we decorated, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, oops, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've done 10, which isn't too bad. We've decorated 3 and we've made 10, which are all complete and ready for decorating. So yeah, I really hope that you like them. You know, let me know which one's your favourite. Not sure which one's my favourite, to be honest, though. You know, I quite like them all. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Keep your eyes peeled for my X-Piles trailer coming this week. So yeah, very, very excited to share that with you. Let me know in the chat below, like I say, whether you're going to join in and, you know, all of those things. And really appreciate your giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks then. Bye.